We are live. We are in the building.
We're back.
Let's get it.
We are back.
There you go. That's what I was waiting on.
You know that's from... Oh, really?
Yeah.
From The Hangover? We are back. You don't remember?
That? No.
Doug said that.
Which one is Doug?
No, not Doug. You know the dentist. The dentist said it, not Doug.
Oh, okay.
What's the dentist's name?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Stu.
Is it Stu?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So anyway, we are back.
We are in the building.
Let me turn my
Wait for my family to get on up in here for a little bit.
Let me turn the ringer down.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
How you doing?
I am awesome. You kind of know how I'm feeling a little bit. Coming off this, like you said, the hangover. You know,
coming off the 40th birthday weekend.
Figuratively saying hangover, not in the literal sense, because I feel great. But I definitely enjoyed my 40th birthday party. This is by far the best birthday I've had ever. Yes.
What made it the best?
Just having my family, friends around, you know what I'm saying? And we made it a weekend. We made it an event. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we did.
It was a extravaganza, if you must say.
It was.
Nah, but I really enjoyed it. So last week, you guys, that's why we wasn't here. Sorry. It was a national holiday. Sorry, not sorry.
A national banking holiday.
Yes. a national holiday, which was yours truly, my 40th birthday. So we had to celebrate that. I had to celebrate it that day. Pretty much all week last week. You know, I definitely had a great time.
Yes, I'm glad that I could be there for a little.
Yes, Jack was out there twerking.
No, I wasn't.
Jack was out there twerking at y'all.
You sit on the throne of lies.
She was throwing it back.
That's not true. Don't lie to the people. It's not true. Anyway, why are you trying to embarrass me? Listen, these are lies.
I posted some pictures on my personal page.
Wait, I was in a hallway. Yeah. First of all, I posed in a hallway on a wall.
It didn't look like a wall. It looked like you was twerking on a good friend.
Damion,
or something like that. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
It doesn't
wasn't
matter.
Twerking on me.
I owe no one an explanation at this point in my life. And that's nice, too.
but it was a great time. Glad you came out for sure.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I'm celebrating. It's Libra season, so I celebrate all season.
Do you really?
Yes.
All month? Do you have plans this weekend?
Yeah, I'm having some fun with my kids this weekend.
Okay, that's good. Daddy fun.
Yeah, absolutely. They got to celebrate with me, too. Bring it in.
So? Today?
You ready? We about to go ahead and get this thing started, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
As always, welcome to the couch where your mental health matters. So can we talk for a bit? This is your host, Dame. I got my girl over here, Jaquella, a.k.a. Jackie, a.k.a. Damion and Jackie. We're in the building, you guys. And today, of course, well, not today, this month.
Mm-hmm, this month.
Is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. And I remember we did this the entire month last year. This was like one of our first episodes here in the studio.
In the studio, off the couch.
Yeah, off the couch. In the studio.
In the studio.
Yeah, this was one of our first.
Yes, I remember.
So 365 days later.
Wow.
We still here, you know.
You know, we never really paid much attention to the fact that it's been a year. We've done the show for a year. I think that says a lot.
4 seasons.
That says a lot. Can you believe we've been here a year?
Hey, we here.
We still together.
Y'all been dealing with Jackie all this time.
We still together.
We still family.
Yes. So, here we are.
Yeah, so we're in the building. Like I said, we're going to be discussing today, you know, the psychological impact or effect that domestic violence has on intimate relationships, relationships in general, the individual, the victim, as well as their partner.
Right.
So, I definitely want to dive into this one because it's very important that we continue to raise awareness regarding domestic violence, because a lot of people actually don't know what domestic violence all entails. Right. You know what I mean? They just think because you get beat up or you get iked, as I call it.
Oh my God, these phrases.
As you know what I'm saying?
We have to use that.
You get iked. Yeah, iked. We're going to go with that.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna say like, oh, you want to go with the clinical term?
The
or
thoughts of Damion Harmon are that.
I mean, do you want to say assault? We can say assault.
Okay, assault, please.
Assault,
Any kind
abuse.
of physical or sexual assault.
Yes. Emotional.
Right. Or are we giving the definition now before the hot topic?
Yes. Go ahead. Give them the definitions.
Okay, you want to get the definitions? Okay,
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna jump into the definition of domestic violence.
Hey, but before you do that, can you make sure that we like and share all of this?
Are you talking to me or them?
To you as well as the family.
You're whispering very intimately to me, and I thought you were about to say something to me. Guys, can you like and share this for whoever is on for now? And this is something that is very important. So if you're watching this later, please like and share it. Share it with somebody that needs to see it. Pass it along. This information is vital. We want to get to the definition of domestic violence. Domestic violence can be physical or psychological. It can affect anyone, any age, gender, race, or sexual orientation.
Right.
It can be insults, threats, emotional abuse, sexual coercion, all constitute domestic violence. So, can you turn that down, please, Dan?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
There's an echo.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Usually that's me. So anyway,
Yeah.
Okay, so this all constitutes domestic violence. So we just want to put an emphasis on the emotional and physiological, psychological, actually psychological, physiological, and the aggression.
Physiological has things to do with the
emotion.
No, that's psychology.
Body.
That's psychological.
Psychological.
Yes. Physiological is how it affects the body internally, things like that.
Well, there can be internal effects if it's bad enough. I hope not. But yeah, so I used the wrong word. Psychologically, right? And then physically.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you for that.
No problem.
All right, so we want to be better, so we got to correct each other. So
yeah, absolutely.
moving right along.
That's how you get better. Like,
Okay, thank you.
Be able to be checked sometimes and...
You didn't check me.
Constructively criticize.
Constructive criticism.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome, family.
Oh, we have a person on.
Yeah, we have somebody.
Usually it doesn't take 3 or 4 minutes, but hello. Oh,
yeah,
hello. We're just moving a little slower today. I understand.
I'm doing a watch party. I'm sharing it.
Okay.
Make sure you guys like and share this video.
Please. We want to share this as much as possible.
Yes. So for you guys that just coming in, the family is coming in. I think I opened up the floodgates just now. I just unlocked the door. And people are coming in. So today, again, you guys, we're talking about domestic violence, the psychological impact that it has on relationships, as we're talking individually as the victim, as well as the person that's a partner with the victim.
Right.
That has experienced past abuse, violence, assaults, trauma. So we're definitely going to get into that. Damion and Jackie just read off the definition of it. So let's get into it. Well, you know what our next segment is, you guys. Each and every week, we give our resident
Wendy Williams.
Yes, the time to kind of just let loose and just let her thoughts go for a minute before we get into the actual topic, and it's called the mental health trending topic.
God. Was that a drum roll?
That was a quick drum roll.
When you come off the birthday weekend, that's what the drum roll sounds like.
Wow. So we blame it on the birthday weekend.
I think so. Now. We all know that you had a fun all weekend, so we can see by evidence of your Facebook page.
Yeah. And I'm not a poster like that, so.
A poster?
I'm not a poster. As far as pictures and all that. You may get one every 3 months. Something like that. I'm one of those guys that have the profile picture for a whole year.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
We need you to freshen that up.
Hey, Steph.
Hey, sis. I got to meet sister over the weekend. That was exciting.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, I love meeting people who comment, in the comments on the show.
Yeah.
So, anyway, back to me and the Wendy Williams situation.
The Wendy Williams of mental health.
The
Wendy Williams of mental health, Mr. Quellen Curry.
Okay, so that's funny.
So what we got? I don't even know what she got for the day, you guys. So don't blame me.
Okay, we want to talk about Judge Tammy Kemp. This is the black judge who hugged Amber Geyer after she was, convicted of murder for Joshua Brown. Okay, so it's got black people up in arms about it. There are multiple levels to this, why black people are upset. And the main argument is you wouldn't have done this if she was a black person, and you don't see judges doing that. And why is there a white empathy card here?
Yes.
And I have feelings and thoughts about it, but I want to know what you think about it.
Right. And I definitely want to hear you guys chime in on this, because we have our black family, our white family everybody, we family. So come in here, let's have a conversation about this because it is regarding, you know, some racial situations going on.
While we're answering, you guys can type what you think in the comments, absolutely. And then we will read them.
So my thoughts on it, which I mean, I read it. You know, I didn't really give it really much attention because it shouldn't have happened. Well, I mean, it should. If you're like, okay, she's remorseful and you want to be this loving person and show humility and all those things, you know, cool. But it needs to be across the board. You know what I mean?
To everyone.
Like, it needs to be like that to everyone. Show some empathy. If that's what you want to do, if that's who you are, do that for everyone. And I think when I read something regarding the judge and her connections to certain people, influential people, that kind of made me question that whole gesture as far as why she would do it, because she was promoted by, or she's back behind the police department. So they kind of got her on the chair.
Okay.
So she has this, you know, empathy. You know, she has empathy for police officers. You see what I'm saying? So just that backstory plays a huge role in that, and I guess people didn't necessarily see that, but again, if that was a black young man, he definitely not getting a hug. I don't care if he sobbed and, you know, had slob coming out of his mouth and tears flowing down. Nobody's going to hug him. Except maybe his attorney. Maybe. You know what I mean? But that's just my thought.
Okay, so thank you, Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, she's so funny. She said, look, I'm white. So she said she thinks it shows compassion, but she would like to see a white judge do it. She said, you know, you don't, because I feel black people have more compassion when it comes to white people. That's what she said. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And she said,
I honestly believe that.
Yeah, I believe it too. Thank you. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for your honesty, Elizabeth. We love it.
I love
She
that.
said she feels like black people have more compassion than white people. And she said, I think after you made that statement, it makes her feel a little different. But I do have an opinion. I have a strong opinion.
Yeah, go ahead, Wendy.
I feel like what happened, she can give any, you know, reasoning that she wants. Before I heard her reasoning, I had my opinion. I very strongly believe it has a lot to do with racism in this country, the history of it, and what we have become subjected to and then adopted as a people. And I feel like black people know good and damn well that there's only so much we can do to combat that strong force of racism. Hence, like the example, Trump in the White House right now, like the tone that he's setting. There's a way that we got used to, a way of life. And the way of life is we come second, and we don't own that, but we are used to it. And I feel like that's part of what drives a black person to have behavior like that. I mean, do you understand? We adopted it almost. Do you understand? Conforming.
We are not necessarily conforming, but it's almost like a generational trait passed down from slaves.
Yes, and it also feels like if you can't beat them, join them. And so that's how I feel when I saw that. And I felt it was out of pocket for a judge, any judge really, that's not really supposed to, I don't feel supposed to carry an opinion that strongly, like show that much emotion when this is that's your profession.
Right, that's just
professional. That was
but also another thing, and I guess the debate was, or the argument was, the length of time as far as her sentence for what she did. You know what I mean? Like,
what's the length of time?
6 years. So she'll probably get out in 3.5.
I didn't know that part. The hug bothered me so much that I didn't even.
You didn't even pay attention to the sentence.
I didn't even know that's how much time she
Y'all
got.
correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I know it was a BS sentence. I didn't know it was 6 years.
Yeah, it's like 6 years. So she's probably gonna have to do maybe 4.
How many years did Michael Vick get?
What, 2?
I know, but that's 1/3 for
for killing a dog. And I got people. We all got people that's in jail for longer for.
Thank you. We all got people
for BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
selling weed.
Do you want to pull a race card on that? I don't know, but I'm just saying that if a black cop did it, they probably would have threw the whole thing at him.
Yeah. Okay. I have strong opinions about it, but I know we're not dwelling on it, but I know it's a whole show within itself, but it's offensive. It's highly offensive to a lot of people. So
yeah,
I'm with that. Yes, I agree. That's Elizabeth. Elizabeth, we're going to get you, we're going to have to message you before we get into racial topics, okay? Because we appreciate the honesty. All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Elizabeth Allison. Thank you, dear.
That's my people.
Okay.
That's my people.
Oh,
so,
good.
yeah. So, went through that. Let's go ahead and turn the page. Definitely, we're going to get into our topic today because it's very important, so we have a lot of information. And we want to continue this conversation even after this show throughout this entire month and pretty much make it a practice, you know, so we can reduce the percentages, because I got some stats over here that's very alarming.
Okay.
So we're going to definitely get into that. Again, today's topic is talking about psychological effects of domestic violence and intimate relationships. And when I say intimate, we're talking boyfriend, girlfriend,
husband, wife,
anybody side pieces.
Sex. Anybody having sex?
Yeah, if you smashing, that's what we're talking about. I'm kidding, you guys.
If you're cutting up,
if you're cutting the rug,
if you're chalking. We used to say that when we were young. We were in junior high.
The horizontal poker.
Like, you chalk that chick? Chalk. The horizontal poker. How old are you, Orangeburg? Oh my God.
Why they gotta be
the
Orangeburg?
horizontal poker. Oh my God.
Hey, you used to have so many terms. Hit those skins. You remember that? You remember that?
I'm gonna be so loud on the radio. Hitting the skins. Oh my gosh, that was before my time.
So yeah, it was.
If you're hitting the skins or doing the horizontal mambo or chalking or banging, tapping, whatever you're doing, and we starting early.
Okay,
all right.
Too early.
Listen, this is
Let's get serious. Let's get serious. Let's go. All right. So let's talk about some of these stats here. So it said every year, more than 10 million men and women in the United States are subject to domestic violence.
I believe it.
And it's probably way more than that.
That's just what's reported.
That's what's reported. And if we're talking about domestic violence, that can range from, and that's probably mostly physical, because you can't necessarily prove, or I guess maybe not necessarily press charges. You can't really go to jail. Well, you can go to jail. You can. You can go to jail for communicating threats. I'm sorry.
Okay, threats, yes. But not emotional, distressful talking.
Right, absolutely.
Okay. Right,
absolutely.
It's not a crime yet.
Yeah, it's not a crime.
I'm sure in our country, in a few years it will be.
I'm figuring that number is way higher because it doesn't include actual emotional violence.
Right.
It's just talking about physical in general. I'm thinking, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
And it says more than 1 in 3 women, 35%, and more than 28% of men in the United States reported having experienced a rape, physical violence, stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. That's a high-ass number. So one of every three of y'all women, somebody has stalked you before, or physically abused you, or did something to interrupt your life.
I had a stalker, but I wasn't in a relationship with him. You want to hear about it? No, it's okay.
Jackie has stalkers.
A guy at my a guy at my apartment complex years ago. Listen, y'all, I don't even know who he was. One morning I woke up to go to work, and so I was dressed and everything. I got down in my car. There was a rose on my car. I was like, oh, that's sweet. The next day it was a rose and a note. The next day it was a rose and another note. This went on for like 4 or 5 days. At some point, I told my son's dad, we were not living together at the time, and I was like, yo, because I was living alone. So I was like, yo, some dude is leaving notes on my car, and he's talking about, I would love to see you again, and I saw you this morning, and I don't even know who it is. And he was like, what? And so what I did was I stopped taking the note. He told me to stop taking the note because it was enabling the person to think almost that I liked it. So I started leaving it on the ground. Yeah, I started leaving it on the ground, and it stopped. It stopped a few days later, but I will tell you that I can't say that it was going to start again because I moved. I'm a scary person. So I moved like 2 weeks later. I got out of my lease. So
is it not like...
That was a little violent, domestically violent.
Could someone look at that as like, oh, like he really is like crushing on me and he doesn't know where I live at. He just seen me get in my car.
I think when it got to a point where he was describing in the note how he had been watching me, it went past romantic, and it was creepy, and it was one rose every day, and I was like, this is not sweet. After the I was scared. I was living alone, and I was like, look, I can't be taking these chances. I got right out of my lease. Yeah.
Wow.
But it wasn't a partner. I don't know what I have felt if that came from an ex-boyfriend or somebody I was breaking up with. That might have felt even more crazy.
Yeah, I think that's mainly what we're discussing today is, actual intimate partner relationships, which means, again, you've done something intimately and y'all have developed this connection. So it's someone that you know.
Yep. Someone that you know. You are crazy.
So, I mean, I have some other stats, and I'm definitely plug them in throughout the show, you guys. But I definitely want to, if you guys have any questions, any situations or anything like that you want to talk about, please definitely put it on there. We're looking at the live right now. We're looking at the comments.
I like your questions. Get to your questions. I like them.
How you cut
they're
off?
Good. I'm sorry, they're good questions.
I mean, I know that they're good because I did them.
Just helping us along. Damion likes to pause a lot.
You gotta pat yourself on the back sometimes. All right, so first question, you guys. What's up, John? Tank, what's good?
What's up, Tank?
Orangeburg in the building. All right, so should you? This is just one question out, and I got it definitely for our audience and for you as well as for myself.
Thanks.
But should you disclose to your partner, to your current partner that you're in a relationship with, if you have ever been sexually abused, molested, or experienced domestic violence in previous relationships?
Well, I believe yes.
Okay.
But let's start with the sexual and physical violence, because every time you walk into a new relationship, you experience somebody new and a new personality, a new way of dealing with you, most importantly. And if anything they do can trigger you and you become triggered by it, we always say more communication is best. And so they may be able to pick up those cues and then be able to go back, tap back into that information of, well, she told me that she has dealt with this before, so maybe she's more angry when I raise my voice, and why she gets more upset when I raise my voice, because she's been through something before that didn't end well. It was a bad and abusive situation. So I think people need to know that. I definitely don't think that's something to keep a secret in a relationship with.
Let's straighten that out. Let's get it. That's what it's saying. That's what it's saying.
Like
Zaid, that's what it's telling Jackie, that she's talking too much?
Look, y'all. I'm just saying that I think it's best. Oh, that's not nice. Okay, so I think it's... She said yes. All right, Zaida.
I think she had already...
We met face-to-face, too, this weekend. Okay? We bonded over some Chex Mix. That's all they could feed us at the bar.
Yeah, no.
Some Chex Mix. So anyway, okay, seriously, it's important. Don't you want a woman who you're in a relationship with to at least let you know what's in the past as far as that kind of severe interaction?
Yes.
So you're aware moving forward what you're dealing with?
Right. Absolutely. From a man, hearing that from my potential partner, because that's usually in that courting phase where you're trying to maybe solidify the relationship and say, okay, we're going to do this. Those are some of those conversations that you would have, just like you would ask if there's a history of mental health issues in the family, substance, those types of questions that you would ask while you're dating. So definitely, from a man's perspective, I would love to know that type of information, because it will not necessarily dictate, because I'm going to be who I am, but I'm also going to understand what may trigger her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For example, if we're being intimate, and I've been in situations where previous relationships where the woman may like to be choked, or,
I freaking hate you. I didn't even know you were going there.
So,
do any of y'all like to be choked? Never mind, don't say it.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so if I'm in a relationship with this person, I'm getting to know her, and I don't know that history, and we're in. I
get it. You get aggressive with her sexually, and then you put your hands on her neck.
Right, or smack on the butt or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
smack on the butt is okay. Hands on the jugular. It just carries a different feeling. I don't know.
But I'm saying like,
yeah, I get it. I get it. You need to know different folks.
So
alternative lifestyles. Did y'all see that show?
That's not alternative.
Well, it's a little domineering and it's very domineering. Excuse me. Some people. Never mind. Let's not get.
That's kind of regular.
Let's not get into sex games.
So
okay.
So again, if I don't know that history about her, that could definitely trigger her and somehow influence the relationship, whether we don't go into a relationship or not. Not on my end, but just basically from her.
Where you grab her throat, okay?
Right.
Look, don't grab my throat. For anyone that's watching that I might wind up dating, don't ever grab my damn throat. It's crazy. And I haven't even been through something in my past like that. But I get it. That's an extreme example, but not so much. I mean, things do occur like that. You know, some women don't like to be pinned down in the bed because of what they've experienced, but they don't want to tell.
With some ropes or some handcuffs?
No. It reminds them.
It is not.
It reminds them too much.
It's funny, but it's not
funny, guys. We have to laugh our way through something.
Yes,
okay, this is
absolutely.
Very serious.
This is what we do on the couch. We turn serious situations. We talk about it, but we also put a little comical spin on some things and some real life situations, like Big Boy saying "Outcast shot situations."
Yeah, but I get you. Okay, so I mean, well, I don't want to get into that. But anyway, some women are aggressive by nature. However, if they've been assaulted, there's a certain level that you want to go to. But this is like when we went back to that show about relationships and communication and how vital it is to let someone know, not just, you have something black on your face. It's very strange. It's like, it's gone now. It was large. Well, it's down here now. Can I get it? Let me take it off.
No.
All right, anyway. Sorry, Damion. You know I'm a mom. Damion has something on his face. It's so distracting. But basically, yeah, so you can get into a situation of sexual pleasure and everything's all fun and games till somebody chokes you.
Right.
And that reminds you of something you've been through in the past. So there's that, you know.
Right.
Different people like different things. Or you might have been abused as a child.
Right. And it's vital that in relationships, and I know we don't do it as often as we should, especially for guys, to ask for permission to touch. Okay. You know, in those intimate settings, you know, it doesn't matter whether you've all done it one time or 10 times. Sometimes women do like to feel like she's in control. Can
you give an example of when you are in the middle of a heated situation and you ask a question like that? Give me an example.
It's kind of hard to give an example in roleplay, but just pretty much saying, "Can I touch you here?"
Okay.
Or does this feel okay? You know, things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're that sensitive to a woman's needs, huh? All right.
Come on, man.
Well, all right.
Check the
Mr.
resume.
Damion. Well, all right.
But I'm saying, but I did say we don't.
I think
do it
we would like that
often as we should. But I definitely, you know, feel that, especially with someone that has experienced trauma in such a fashion of domestic violence, that sometimes getting to know that person in an intimate setting, you want to start by asking those questions.
I think us women need to take ownership of that too. I think it's 50-50, okay? We cannot be so quiet about our past history of mess, okay? We have to let the person who you're intimate with know what situations you've been put into, and you just own up to that and move along with it. But I'm sure a lot of men would like to know, and they don't want to be wondering when things are too aggressive and you change your whole demeanor, if you're scared of them or what you're thinking. And I know that can be a difficult situation for people. Yeah,
absolutely. So definitely, I would definitely disclose that information to my partner if I was sexually abused or there was domestic violence in which I was a victim.
Yeah.
Because men do get victimized. We just don't come forward with it. We do. Shout out to the men.
Shout out to the men.
Lock down and solidify this fidelity thing we got going on here. Cut it out.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about psychological effects of someone that has experienced domestic violence. What are some of those things? Just some symptoms.
Psychological effects of domestic violence. Quick to react. Very quick to react, and anxiety. like fear of someone's reaction,
right?
What they're gonna do, what they're gonna say.
That hypervigilance.
Yes, and it stifles your personality, so
right.
it can cause you to be reserved, more reserved than normal.
And I've also read on, both sides of it. Definitely that side where self-esteem is affected tremendously to where they don't have that self-worth. But I've also read different situations in which the person becomes more of the aggressor when they get into new relationships. When they finally leave that situation or something happens, they're no longer with that abuser. They tend to become the abuser after that.
The effect of the trauma.
But because they don't want to be abused again, they come off a little bit more aggressive.
Overly controlling.
Yes, absolutely.
Of situations.
Absolutely. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm going to my therapist this week, so I will express myself then.
Right. Okay, but also, just physiological effects as far as like asthma and, heart issues, high blood pressure, all of those things are connected to.
It's gone now.
Okay. No, I'm kidding. What else? Of course, flashbacks. A lot of individuals, a lot of PTSD, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of those symptoms intertwine with each other. Startled responses.
Right. Startled response.
When you do go to touch
jumpiness.
Right,
Jumpiness.
absolutely.
And Elizabeth said you have a hard time adjusting. So you could have a hard time adjusting to the new relationship.
Right.
There'll be more resistance, I think. When you've been in a situation where you've been controlled and then you start to feel like the new relationship is trying to change you or something about you, you may automatically push back.
And that definitely, but I also think, I guess this is just a sidebar, for people who have experienced this type of abuse, they actually lose themselves within that relationship. So you have to take the time to get to know yourself, again, what it is that you don't want, what it is that you do want, and actually seek those things. So that's just a sidebar to that right there.
Okay.
What else? I'm thinking more so intimately, low libido, reduce.
Okay. Sexual drive?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that and making you more guarded with revealing things about yourself, because you need trust. Trust is an
Absolutely.
A major issue.
Right.
And honestly, I know people in relationships who love the person they're with, but very often will say, I don't really trust men. And then they're in relationships. And you just wonder what kind of talking they're doing in their relationship, what kind of communication is being had. If the man knows that ultimately she doesn't really trust me because she hasn't been able to trust men in this situation because of the control.
And just being able to, if you're in that relationship and you're getting to know this person, you actually learn to actually see them. You know what I mean? Like, just see their behaviors, the way that they interact, the way that they move, and knowing that they've been abused in some way, you can tell when that person is triggered or something reminds them of past abuse and things like that. So being able to see them, when I say that, just internally from an emotional standpoint.
Okay, so she said you don't want to get undressed. And so, I get it. It might make intimacy, starting any kind of real physical intimacy, very difficult. And I know a lot of guys are like, oh, she's so guarded, or oh, relax. Okay, honestly, stop telling women to relax.
Yeah.
Okay, stop doing that. Stop saying relax and just you'll be fine and we can move at a slower.
Trying to coach them through it.
Stop coaching us. Stop coaching us through coping skills.
Just lean
when
to
you
the
want to be
side.
intimate. If you would just put your head right here. Stop it.
Just
ask her what she's been through. Thank you, Damion. Just turn over to the. I'm not turning over to the side if I have trust issues.
Just lay on your stomach.
Listen. So the point is, you don't know what kind of reaction you're going to get because you don't know what she's been through. So instead of telling her to calm herself down and relax, maybe you should try to start a conversation about, hey, I just noticed that you were pulling back a lot. So can you tell me what I need to do in order to make this better for you?
Exactly. a more pleasurable experience.
A more
right now
pleasurable experience.
Yeah.
Can y'all ask us that? Instead of, you want some Moscato? We don't want no damn Moscato.
Some Henny.
No, yeah. Most men offer that $5 bottle of Moscato. You want a glass of Moscato or some Riesling or something? No, I want you to ask me about how I'm doing and what you can do to make me feel more comfortable. Okay? Jesus, alcohol is not the key. Go ahead. It makes me mad. Oh, it makes me mad. Like Medea.
So again, guys, the psychological or just the overall effects of domestic violence could be that hypervigilance, could be that guarded feeling, could be the lack of a willingness to have sex or low libido. And even if you do have sex, it's not pleasurable because of the lubrication, those types of things, and it actually starts to hurt women. Let me put my phone down. So it's important to actually have those conversations, those connections, and actually be in a situation where you're mutually being mentally satisfied as well as emotionally and physically. And then those things, the physical part will happen.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. If you tap into a woman's emotions, you'd be surprised what kind of doors open up. You'd be surprised how open she is to laying to the side, laying on her stomach. I mean, I'm saying if you would just be a little more insightful and interested in her emotional levels of functioning, it would get you places. Listen, you'll have the key. But, so that's what we're talking about. Increasing intimacy by expanding communication, avenues of communication, and learning more about history.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, next question, and this is a really good one. What can your partner do? And we've been touching kind of on that a little bit briefly here. But what can your partner do if they're in that current relationship and she's had past abuse issues or domestic violence issues in the home with her previous partner?
What can your partner do? I think what the partner can do is listen and observe and reflect back what they're observing. Okay? Sometimes we have been through stressful and not necessarily domestically violent, but stressful situations where we are not even self-aware of how we come off. And I think you should always let your partner know, like, hey, the last time I told you something like this, you reacted in a way that made me not want to tell you things. So I think if we talk more like that, I know I'm really big on doing that. Or when you don't call for a couple days, it reminds me of this person who cheated. And so I need more of a connection at least once or twice a day for me to feel like a priority.
So security is definitely impacted.
I think security is impacted by that. I think if you've been done wrong once, you have that in your mind. It has never gone away. You don't forget. So you're now on guard. I mean, you have some kind of wall up.
Okay. I would say definitely communicate and ask those questions about the triggers. What does trigger you? What does cause you to clam up? What, like you said, what can I do to let you open up? Had to pause right there. Open up. But just being able to communicate those triggers, and y'all have conversations about those things and try to circumvent. Because I mean, you can't really avoid some triggers. That means to go around to get somewhere.
I was about to look it up
in a quicker fashion.
Thank you, counselor.
My vocab is okay. It's all right.
I graduated. I got that diagnosis where I'm attracted to smart stuff people say. What's it called? Sapiosexual?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Any of y'all attracted to somebody just says something smart? You don't know the word, you need to go look it up. Anyway, maybe y'all should read the dictionary instead of asking her to lay on her side. I don't know. But it works for me. What's the next question?
What's another way?
Another way to help to be understanding of what to do if you have a partner who has been through something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this because it's my answer to everything, but I would recommend a few therapy sessions where you ask to go with if they're okay with it, so that you can get a better understanding of how they feel emotionally. Oh, look. We're on the same page. So I believe that you should be saying, hey, you know, this is a problem that I continue to see, and I love you, and I want to help you through that, but I think we need to sit down with somebody, and I'm open to doing that with you.
Right, absolutely. And definitely don't be aggressive.
That works against it doesn't serve the purpose, okay? Yeah, it works against what we're going for here.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so as a person that's a victim of domestic violence, I'm not saying that I am, but the person, the actual victim, what can they do with their partner to kind of, you know, communicate what they need?
Overly communicate how they feel. Okay. I feel there's nothing wrong with telling somebody how you feel. If anything, if your spouse or partner is overly communicating, you feel like they communicate a lot, you should be grateful that they care that much about your relationship to really fill you in.
Right.
I believe that is a major way, and that you can just be attentive to how much they want to communicate and what they're telling you, and then actively participate in that communication. So you're saying, when I raised my voice the other day, it reminded you of the day your ex-boyfriend threw a glass across the room. I need to know that.
Right.
Or when I make subtle movements towards you when we're arguing, that you don't want me to do that, so I won't move towards you.
Right.
I know I've dated somebody who said, I don't like when you angrily walk out the door and leave the house when I'm upset, because it reminded them of abandonment issues.
Right.
That is a domestic, you know, that's constant, that's PTSD.
Yeah.
And so I never did it again. You know, when you can't walk out, you got to do something different. You know, don't leave the house in the middle of that.
And it's a total difference from that person giving that reasonable request versus them being controlling. Like, nah, you can't do that right there. No, don't do that right there. You know, otherwise it's going to trigger me. You know, somebody will be kind of sneaky with it and say, well, oh, my ex-boyfriend did this, so you can't do this right here. And it's not reasonable. You're like, what? Like, I can't sleep on the left side of the bed? Huh?
I know loud cursing at me is something that it's a deal breaker for me.
Okay.
Yep, because it leads down bad roads, in my opinion. Once you know what, this is so interesting to me, because I remember a Red Table Talk where Jada and Will were talking, and do you remember this? And Will was saying his deal breaker, he let her know, she was cussing at him. And he said, you can never do that again. And I won't tolerate it. I don't think we should be talking to each other that way. And then they decided they would never do that. But it affected him in a way where he was not willing to go through life like that. It reminded him of a place he didn't want to go.
Right.
And I feel the same way.
Being a witness of domestic violence. And that's a whole totally... we're back.
Okay.
It just...
Yeah.
But
that's important. That's okay.
But yeah, like I was saying, we're definitely going to talk about, you know, children in domestic violence as well, because they're also two victims. If you're screaming all the time, yelling all the time, fighting in front of the kids, that's definitely a psychological impact that it could have on that child long term if it's not addressed early on. All right. One thing that I did want to kind of mention or comment on is that when someone is a victim of domestic violence, they have this self-doubt or this thought that they are not worthy of having positive and healthy relationships, especially if they come from dysfunction, then they get in dysfunctional relationships, and it just seems like a pattern, you know, throughout their life. They just have that feeling of, you know, this is what relationships should look like. So it's like their energy attracts those certain types of individuals. Have you ever experienced that, or had a girlfriend that was like, she just always attract like this type of guy? And she was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I get the same type of guy.
We know what you're doing. Yes, obviously that's my answer. I have experienced that before. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I noticed it about myself at some point recently. Okay. I noticed that I was attracted to people who overtly show affection. And it was because I was lacking something growing up I was seeking.
Right.
But it took a while. I mean, it took a while through sifting through long-term relationships to realize what I liked at first and what got me quickly.
Absolutely.
And because that doesn't always last. And so there you go. But sometimes we just really have to look at ourselves after we're doing the same things over and over and over again and stop blaming other people all the time.
Right. So, yeah. So, and I definitely wanted to say that, you know, domestic violence, you know, the injuries the bodily injuries, the physical part of it, that's definitely damaging, and it produces those types of injuries. But the emotional wounds and the emotional injuries that you incur last way longer than those physical. You break your leg, you'll be back in about 6 months, 6 months to a year. Everything will be healed, but you can't heal, a broken heart by yourself. You can't do it. I mean, it's going to take work. So
a heart is a house of love, and I learned that it don't take much to break a heart. Have y'all seen the 5 Heartbeats?
If you didn't,
all right, Eddie Kane Jr.
If you didn't, if you didn't, and you black, your card is on conditional.
Elizabeth is the only one that's excluded from this. Elizabeth, I'm sure if you like this show, I'm sure you've seen the 5 Heartbeats at some point in time.
She's seen it.
I'm gonna send you a clip, girl.
Oh, Eddie Kane.
Eddie Kane Jr.
Y'all still want to mess with old Eddie Kane.
Go ahead. It's 6 o'clock. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this thing on up, you guys. I definitely enjoyed that topic. We are going to continue to discuss certain things regarding domestic violence throughout this month, because again, we definitely want to continue to raise awareness on domestic violence, the victims, the perpetrators, things to look for, signs, and the emotional impact that it does have on our community and our society as a whole. We didn't talk a whole lot about the impact that it has on a man when he's been abused or in a domestic violence situation, but there are definitely, ramifications and.
You want to do that next week?
We'll talk about it. We're definitely gonna talk about it.
The physiological.
Because if he just smashing everything, he could be a victim.
Wait, we're not talking about the woman. He's smashing objects?
No, that's a colloquialism for sex. If he's becoming hypersexual.
I'm clutching pearls. Okay. All right.
That type of thing. But we'll talk about that later. We will.
Okay.
We definitely will. We'll definitely touch on that. But I definitely want to kind of, before we get out of here, talk about some upcoming things that we both have going on.
Yes. What do you have going on? What's coming up?
I know we have a suicide walk. I don't have all the information. I think it's this coming Saturday. It's Fonda Bryant. I think it's like, I forget who's promoting it. I just know it's on my calendar to do that. I know that's going to be here in Charlotte. So I'll definitely get that information out to you guys if you want to participate in the suicide walk that Miss Fonda Bryant is so eloquently. Is that it right there?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't say when it is, though. It just says walk to fight suicide. Oh, it's 3 days away. So is it Saturday?
Yes. Okay. It's Saturday.
Okay, we'll post something on the page.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Okay.
What else?
What else do you have
I'll
coming
be visiting
the
Rams of Winston-Salem State University, their police officers. Next week, we're definitely going to talk and dialogue about mental health, self-care with the police officers and things like that. That following Monday, I'll be back in Winston as well, talking to the students as well. I'll be on a panel up there as well. So, got those two things going on.
That's exciting.
Well, Miss, I think there's another event you got going on. You got a couple things going on. Talk about it, Jackie.
Well, I know for one, I'll be resuming my place at Fox 46 next week. I'm pretty excited about that. Talking about my favorite topic, mental health. We will be discussing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I'm just excited to be on there as a guest.
Can you plug the couch piece?
I will. I will be mentioning the couch in some shape or form on that show. Yeah. And, we want to let people know what we're doing, especially since it's free information that people can tap into.
Free?
Yeah, it's free. 99 information that people can tap into. So you all, if you can catch it October 15th at about 7:45 on Fox 46, I will be on.
I'll still be asleep.
Come see you, girl. I'll send you the clip, hon. You know I will. And it'll be on the page if Damion uploads it in time.
Shady?
Ready to see it.
Whatever.
Just a little.
You can do it.
It's not shady because it's out in the open. if Damion
It's
uploads.
a shady
Oh, I
tree
can.
right down. That's why
Okay,
it's
Damien's gonna give me access to the website for the first time.
Not
So
that.
I wanna.
I thought you were talking about posting on.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me take it back. He's not giving me access to the website.
I didn't say that.
I will post it on the page, y'all. About the news. Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, you got something else going on? A coloring event?
Oh, a fall festival. Touche. An adult coloring event at a
talk about these things.
fall festival. Hold on, let me pull up the information. I will also post this on the page.
I saw it.
Where did you see that?
I
You saw my
that.
name?
Yeah. No, it mentioned the couch. It was on IG. Miss Carla.
The couch? Okay. So, yeah, I have the flyer somewhere. I can't find it, but I will post that on the page.
Yeah, all those
It's October 27th.
Fall Festival.
Saturday, October 27th, Fall Festival. There will be adult...
They don't say Halloween festivals anymore?
Okay, hold on. There will be adult painting. No, Halloween technically is not a word that's used. I know not in my son's school. I don't think CMS really uses that anymore. I know at my son's school, they call it, they don't even call it a costume party. They say dress up as your favorite hero or character.
Okay.
They changed the language a few years ago.
Wow. What happens just going trick-or-treating? It don't mean that you satanic or you worshiping the devil or anything, or spirits or anything like that. Why can't I just go out there and get me some Snicker bars and some Smarties?
I will tell y'all this. I'm going to tell you this. I'm a borderline trying to figure out how I feel about Halloween. But in the meantime, my son collects candy like no other. Yes, I drive to one neighborhood, we collect. Then we drive to another neighborhood, I let him out, he collects. And let me tell you something. If you think my kid eats candy, you're sadly mistaken. He gives me everything at the end of the night. It's a give and take. It's a give and take. He gets to go to doorbells. He gets the excitement of ringing the bell and saying whatever he wants, trick or treat, get the candy and collect it for mommy. Collect it for mommy.
That's a shame.
It's a give and take.
That's a shame.
Okay. So anyway, I'm glad that we had this conversation. That was important.
Yeah,
I want to say
sure.
Sorry to this man. Look, y'all. Look at my shirt.
It's backwards.
It is.
Yes.
But y'all know who it is. That's Kiki. I know y'all have seen that meme. Sorry to this man. Okay, go look it up. I love it. I love my shirt. It's new. I don't know who this man is. Sorry to this man.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was awesome. We in here. We on the couch as always every week, every Wednesday, 5 p.m. live. You know, we didn't. I don't think we went live on IG today.
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
No.
Okay. So, but Facebook Live, IG, y'all get the snippets. You know, but definitely follow us on both platforms.
Hey,
Visit
Mo.
the website. What's up, Mo?
Hey, January. Hey, Dwayne.
Oh, my people coming through. I feel the love. You
Mo
know,
better.
It's
Mo
Libra
better blues.
season. That's just it's the feeling right now. You know, it is what it is. But I definitely enjoyed you. See, you still twerking. You still twerking from
I'm
last
not
week?
Can you not label shoulder movements as twerking? You are being
Jackie
misleading.
Was twerking. Well, if it's not twerking,
our audience really believes that.
This is
they
what we call
that.
it in the country. We just call it a cootie roll.
First of all,
you're doing a cootie roll.
Is that what they call it? Hey.
Whatever, man. But definitely check out the website, couch704.com, all social media platforms.
Oh, we want to talk about sponsorship.
Yeah, definitely. If you would like your business,
organization,
private
practice,
all those things, any business, if you want your business advertised on the show, whether that's here live or on the radio station, which we broadcast every Sunday at 12 p.m. on Power 104.4 Internet Radio, definitely reach out to us. We'll definitely love to work with you and promote your brand and your business. You know, we want to uplift each other and make sure that everybody is aware of what we got going on, whether it's in Charlotte, you know, Atlanta, wherever we everywhere.
Any small businesses.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We'll definitely get you right. Yeah, with your advertising.
I don't have nothing to say.
Oh my goodness. Yes, January, the cootie roll.
I don't know what that is. What's the show us? He said Damion had a sound to go with it. Oh, don't forget that Trinity Manning made a statement a couple weeks ago on our show that he wants people with business plans to contact him and he wants to give them money. Okay, this is what he's saying.
Invest in you.
He wants to invest in you. This is a
Yes.
very
definitely
financially enhanced and stable black man who wants to give money to other people
Right.
who are starting their own businesses. So get your
Shout
plan
out-
together
shout out
first.
to
Shout out to
Trinity. What
Trinity. We're going to have him back soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I need to talk to him anyway. We need to talk to him. Yeah.
It's his
for
birthday
sure.
weekend. I already talked to him.
Yes, definitely, Zai. Have Salima hit me up. She has an awesome business with her body butter and oils and
Body butter.
conditioners and like she makes it herself. She makes it herself and it's dope. Smells good. I got something from her. That's why I be smelling good sometimes. Yeah, but definitely I think that'll be awesome because everybody needs to be smelling like that. Yeah, you shaking the camera, but it is what it is. All right, you guys, that's a wrap. Another one in the books. We still here, season 4. What did I say? Season 4 coming back for more. It was something crazy.
Damn, is he funny? Do you remember that from Def Jam? Joe Torre?
Yeah.
Y'all remember? They all remember that.
I didn't like Joe Torre.
Joe Torre?
Yeah, he was corny to me.
He was
Both
the best
of
they
them.
could do after Martin Lawrence. Both of who? You thought Martin Lawrence was cool?
No, Joe Torre and his brother.
Oh, Guy Torre.
Yeah, they're corny. They're corny. What's up, Fire? Thank you for the birthday presents and gifts and flowers and everything that you sent.
Oh, the emojis?
Yeah,
I was going to say, did you
emojis.
really get gifts and flowers and such things?
Hey. I did get gifts.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, the show's over now.
All right, you guys, we're going to check y'all next week. Holler at us. Check us out on all platforms, cal704.com. Hit us up. You want to advertise your business, that's what we're here for. All right, peace. We'll holler at you.
Bye.
From Jackie. Ding. Peace. That was whack, wasn't it?
Well, especially since you can't reach.